Tell us a little bit about what you saw and being able to relay that message to Cora when you watched Kimbrel pitch and kind of help out so he wasn't tipping his pitches.
So tipping pitches, we hear about it all the time.
People at home understand what tipping pitches is all about.
It's amazing.
And that's remarkable.
Alex, at 7 a.m. Eastern this morning, 6 hours ago, I received an email in my inbox. Subject line, Trenton Thunder welcome Diamond Baseball Holdings as new owner.
Oh, no.
This email was sent to me by fun@trentonthunder.com. That's the email address, fun@trentonthunder.com. That reminds me of your email address, fun@tippingpitches.com. Please email all of your greatest baseball conspiracy theories to that email address. For a fun time at tippingpitches.com. That's Alex.
Right, yeah. For a good time call. You know, I've always been saying where the real money is in baseball is in the collegiate summer leagues.
Yeah, the MLB draft league.
Right, exactly.
Okay, let me read you a couple choice lines that I thought were worth interrogation here on the Tipping Pitches podcast.
Please.
The managing partners and shareholders of the Trenton Thunder announced today that they have agreed to sell the club to Diamond Baseball Holdings (DBH), an organization that owns and operates professional baseball teams across North America. The Thunder will continue to compete in the MLB Draft League, a 6-team league featuring a split-season amateur professional format, and remain guided by their existing front office staff, led by President Jeff Hurley and General Manager John Bodnar. The ballpark has undergone significant upgrades in recent years through a multi-million-dollar transformation designed to enhance both the player and fan experience, reflecting continued investment in the future of the Trenton Thunder by New Jersey and Mercer County. Yeah, I bet Mercer County is continuing to invest in the Trenton Thunder. I'm sure Diamond Baseball Holdings is happy to hear it. Here's where I thought it was really interesting, where they start to explain what DBH is to the fans.
Yeah. Please tell me.
Through its roster of clubs, you're gonna feel really good about this one. You're gonna know what DBH does from this paragraph. Through its roster of clubs, DBH is on a mission to create lifelong memories at ballparks across North America. The organization focuses on strengthening beloved baseball brands through professional management, innovation, and investment, just in case you thought that was all, while supporting the unique identity and community presence of each club.
Oh.
Did you catch all of that?
I think it does sort of come together for me, especially with that last point. I was sort of like, what are you innovating and investing in? But it's clear that it's the unique brand identity of each club.
Well, how dare you leave out the community presence of each club?
And the community presence, which I know is number one on each of
Well,
their
they put it
decks.
last to hammer it home because it's most important.
Right, yes, exactly.
Quote, the Thunder are a historic franchise in a terrific market with an incredibly loyal fan base, adding them to the DBH family, just like Olive Garden, baby, when you hear your family, was simply too good an opportunity to pass up, said Pat Battle and Peter Freund. They both said it simultaneously, like that time we tried to do that bit on the podcast.
It's like their catchphrase.
Executive Chairman and CEO of DBH, respectively. I don't like that they didn't say that this was given to them via email or press release, because they didn't say it at the same time.
No.
Quote, they have tremendous support from the state and county and are a perfect fit for our roster. We're excited to bring them into the DBH ecosystem and build on the strong foundation already in place at Trenton Thunder Ballpark. Subject to obtaining the consent of the MLB Draft League and satisfying other standard closing conditions, the transaction is expected to close in the coming weeks. It happened to me. I didn't think it could happen to me, but it happened to me. I'm going to be giving money to Diamond Baseball Holdings.
This is what happens, right? This is what happens when all of the existing avenues for you to deploy your capital have been exhausted, right? Having reached the threshold of the number of teams you're allowed to own, They're like,
Don't you hate when all of the existing avenues to deploy your capital have been exhausted? I mean, it's happened to all of us at least once or twice.
It's happened to all of us, and frankly, it may be something that comes up in a conversation later on in this episode. But
yeah,
I guess why not see what else is out there? You know, there's a 12U Little League team around the corner from me that looks real sharp. I'm just saying, why not?
They're going to strengthen the beloved baseball brand and through professional management of that 12U Little League team. They're going to bring some innovation and investment while, of course, never infringing upon the unique identity and community presence of those kids.
Yeah. That's there will be checks and balances there. I have to assume.
Just thought this was funny. I thought it was a nice way that I could personally relate to a story that we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, you have a direct investment.
I can't believe they sent this email 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Saturday.
Got to make sure he knows he's bought tickets to Trenton Thunder at some point in the last 5 years. He better know that innovation is coming. like in the Disney Pixar movie Up, adventure is out there. Innovation is out there. Have no fear. We got you, dude.
Should we start doing sell the team chants at like minor league games or the like MLB draft league games?
In your mind, are we telling the DBH owned teams to sell to a smaller owner, or are we telling smaller owners to sell out to DBH?
Honestly, both. It kind of doesn't matter. It's going to be
we just want transactions.
I just want deals. I just need more shit to talk about. You know,
we want transactions. We're transaction pilled. We're like TBPN for minor league baseball.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I hope that doesn't mean anything to most of our listeners.
On our it probably does, though, if we're being totally honest. On our last episode, the most cursed phrase that was uttered was you jokingly saying that we're sort of like the Barstool of the left and then asking me to cut it, and I didn't. And then now I had to sort of, go tete-a-tete with you to utter the phrase. We're sort of like the TBPN of minor league baseball.
Not doing ourselves any favors. That was the sound of our listeners slowly turning off this episode.
I don't agree. This is all excellent bit work. That was the sound, actually, of maybe the listeners pausing so that they're not overstimulated while they go to type in their credit card information to sign up for Patreon because they support what we're doing so deeply here. I see you and I hear you. Keep on keeping on. Hold the line, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is a podcast not just for baseball fans, but for DBH fans, right? Mm-hmm. For private equity fans. It's sort of our goal to reach across the aisle, talk to the common man or woman on the other side who maybe wants to purchase a minor league baseball team, but hasn't had that opportunity. This is a Big Tent podcast, as we've always said.
Big tent, huge tent, the biggest tent.
The biggest tent.
Where there's a lot of space. There's not many people yet in the tent, but the tent itself is really big.
We're saving the room just in case.
We're like the DCCC. It's a huge tent. No one's in it. No one wants to be here. Okay, we have actually a lot to talk about this week on the podcast. Thanks to everybody for being understanding when we decided to take a week off last week because of some travel snafus. That's the word that I've decided was the right word for what happened last week.
Yeah.
Some travel snafus.
Mm-hmm. Which is just that I was traveling when we usually record.
And it would have been hard and annoying to record at another time. We would have had to record at like 10 p.m., which wouldn't have been a very good podcast. I'm a little too old to be up until 3 a.m. editing the Tipping Pitches podcast these days.
Yeah.
I can be up until like 1, but not 3.
Yeah. That's on growth.
Exactly. That's on growth. And we did a great Patreon episode to tide people over. Dropped a little preview in the feed, as many of you know, patreon.com/tippingpitches. Anyway, we don't need to do all that right now. We have a ton to talk about. Padres got sold, kind of. Provisionally? I don't know what the legal term is. There's something I'm calling Get Off My Lawn Corner. Mm-hmm. There's a super PAC that's been written about that is lobbying.
In this case, you are actually not the person telling people to get off my lawn. Right,
which is rare.
Which is a rarity. So I just want to preface that.
Well, you say that, but you don't know which side I'm going to come down on.
That's true.
I didn't
You're
tell
an enigma.
You. I might side with Eric Hosmer, a man who I have a lot of recorded history of hating. There's a super PAC raising tens of millions of dollars to support the underdog sports betting companies of America. There's more news out of the MLB Players Association to the
Turmoil.
extent that it is news. And of course, there is a failed MLB sponsorship. Before we talk about all of that, I am Bobby Wagner.
I am Alex Paisley.
And you are listening to Tipping Pitches. Thank you to our new patrons. This is the last 2 weeks. Hang tight, Alex. Strap in. Last 2 weeks of new patrons. Clay, John Boy Media Wetwork Team. Just going to move on from that one. Andre, Laura Baby, Christina, Sup It's Shire, Illegally Low, Dawn, Keith, Brian, Mac, Shane, Van, Molly, Brett, Nick, Amy, Brett again. I guess you upgraded. Thanks, Brett. Nice work. Tom, Mona, David, Colin, another David, and Jake. The Davids maybe coming for the Alexes.
Mhm.
One day I'm going to do a little bit of data analysis over who has what the leaders in the clubhouse are in terms of names on our Patreon.
Yeah, I think I'm planning on starting caucuses, actually, right? So, obviously I can chair the Alex's caucus.
And then when you guys are sort of defeated, you decide whether you throw your Alex votes behind like Jim or something.
Yes, exactly.
I like this, actually. This is a good game.
Like, I would say, hypothetically, in case there are opportunities to say vote on anything on the Patreon.
Oh, nice segue. Nice segue. Okay, let's do some housekeeping then.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
that you
That's
mentioned
right.
it. Thanks for reminding me. So last week on the Patreon, we put out 3 Up, 3 Down on Wednesday. And then I alluded to this on that episode that we are taking votes right now. There's a poll up on Patreon right now. Link is in the description to this episode to vote on where we do the second Tipping Pitches meetup this year. So if you're new here, every year we do 2 meetups for everybody to come hang out together at a baseball game. The first one is always in Brooklyn at a Brooklyn Cyclones game. It is historically in June. It will be in June again this year. It's going to be Friday, June 12th. I believe the game starts at 6:40 p.m. We are in discussions with the Cyclones currently about whether there will be any sort of like
talks, you might say.
advanced talks. As long as the MLB Draft League is approved, we are going to acquire the Cyclones. No, we're discussing with the Cyclones about whether we could turn it into a bigger event than just the game, if that makes sense. If not, it'll be just the game. So I suggest if you're in the New York City area, hold Friday, June 12th. If you want to come through and hang out, it's always incredibly fun. I've had so much fun doing that. I love Maimonides Park. Maimonides. How confident
not
are you that that's right?
or anything else?
Not Maimonides?
Minutia?
Minutemen?
Minute Maid?
Minute Maid. Okay, good. Minute Maid and Maimonides kind of sound the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friday, June 12th. It's going to be fun. It's Pride Night at the Cyclones. That's the same. We also did that last year. It was a blast. Actually, you know what? I have the link for the tickets. I'm just remembering this right now. So it's in the description too. That's so exciting.
Look at that. We're
The link
breaking
to buy
news
those
to ourselves
tickets.
on this podcast.
Yes, the links to buy those tickets is in the description. If you buy a ticket from that affiliate link, it will all be part of the same group together. I believe that the tickets come with a free hat. They also come with a food and drink credit for being part of the group order. We are also, like I mentioned, fielding votes. There is a poll on Patreon right now. Link in the description to vote on where we do the second meetup, which is historically at a Major League Baseball game. We are between 3 locations spread over 5 different weekends. It'll make sense when you actually look at it. The first is Denver, Colorado. The second is Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the third is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A bunch of flyover states that Alex has never been to.
It's not true. On at least
2
one of those.
flyover states that you've never been to. It's funny they call Colorado a flyover state as if
but
it's
you
not
did it,
like
not
just
me.
in the Mountain West. I've been to not all of these places. I've been to 2 of those places. Kind of. Anyway.
Kinda. Been in the airport in
No.
Minneapolis?
I've been to a Rockies game.
You have.
You have not.
It's true.
Anyway, those are the dates. They're spread out over the end of August and the beginning of September. So it's the best time for us to be able to make this happen, make this trip happen. Vote for any and all of the dates and locations that you would like to attend or could attend. Basically, you can vote for more than one. We're just trying to get a sense of which game could accommodate the most people before we decide on where to do it. To vote in that poll, you don't have to be a paying Patreon member, but you do, I think, have to be a free Patreon member. So if you want to vote, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I do want to come to this, I'm not currently in and around the Patreon world, you don't have to give us money to vote. Just make a free account.
It's not pay to play here.
Most of the time it is. But this time it's not. Just make a free account and you can vote. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? I know this is kind of confusing. There's 2 separate meetups. One in New York for the Coastal Elites. One in the Midwest so that we can say we're not a Coastal Elites.
Right. But 5 options feed into whatever that one decision. We're trying to basically figure out the date that most people are available and want to attend. So as you said, please vote for any and all that appeal to you. Vote harder than you ever have before. This could be the most important election of your lifetime, frankly. So I need you guys to
There are
lock
no
in.
write-in options. You cannot write in Zoran Mamdani.
No.
You cannot write in Eric Adams.
Right. Tipping Pitches meetup at Zoran Mamdani.
Gracie Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Should we swing by after the Cyclones meetup?
Maybe he's probably
With
walking around
pitchforks
the,
to be
the
like,
fucking
why
streets
didn't you
right
do
now.
the podcast that
Yeah.
one time in February 2025 when
Yeah.
you said you would?
Where's my bidet? Where's my bidet?
Yeah. I think that's everything. 2 meetups. Last year we did it, the second one in Kansas City, and the year before we did it in Chicago. So we're bouncing around Midwestern towns.
We're beating the allegations.
We're getting to the real heart of the American baseball fan.
Yeah,
This is good for you,
the
too, to
proverbial
recruit-
American diner of Major League Baseball.
Correct. This is good for you to recruit more fans to the MLB Fans Union as well.
Exactly. This
Should we
I'm
bring
going state to
flyers
state.
this year?
Yeah.
We should bring flyers that say MLB Fans Union with QR codes, but it just takes them to our website instead. And we should hand them out at these meetups.
Pretty good bit, actually.
All right,
Is
cool.
it a good bit? I don't know. The listeners will let us know, but we'll do it either way.
And I think that they would help too. I think if we brought like 200 flyers, the other people would help us hand those out at the
Mhm.
games. Yeah. There's some campaigning going on in the Slack for what people should vote for.
There's some campaigning going on in multiple group messages right now, and frankly, it's too much. You know what I say? One person, one vote.
I agree with that.
No
Let
privileges
democracy
here.
decide. Although the truth is, if you really wanted to, you could make a bunch of Patreon accounts and skew the vote. But, I'm not against that. You have a bunch of free Patreon accounts. It juices our numbers, juices those membership numbers.
Do it. I've been wanting to investigate our own version of mail fraud here on voter fraud here on the Tipping Pitches podcast. Mail fraud. I don't know why.
I don't know where.
we are
Freudian
accepting mail-in ballots. Just so you know.
Freudian slip, maybe? Have you been
Yeah.
doing some mail fraud recently? I don't really know what's going on, so I'm just going to start talking about some of the stories that we said we were going to talk about. Can we start? Let's just start with the Padres sale, because you told me, and I quote, I could do an hour on just this.
I could. Well, I was going to do a whole bit where we'd be like, all right, we got to talk about the big news at the MLB ownership level, pregnant pause. The Walton family has bought into the Rockies.
Is that true? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, 40%.
Which Walton?
40% stake. The ones who own the
40%.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Greg and
Tricky
Carrie.
Dick needing
Greg-
a little cash infusion.
Greg and Carrie Walton Penner.
Dude, I can't
Who
keep
own
track
the
of the
Broncos?
Waltons.
Yeah.
I thought Stan Kroenke owned the Broncos.
Who's Stan Kroenke?
Stan Kroenke owns the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the Denver Nuggets and Colorado
Okay, so he does own the
Avalanche.
Nuggets. That's what I was
Yeah.
confused.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Colorado
It's all-
Avalanche. He's a Colorado guy, and he owns, I think, Arsenal. He owns one of the Premier League teams.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's a lot of teams to own.
It is. But this is sort of the way it goes. Is once you own one sports team, that sort of opens up opportunities for you to own more sports teams. And also, if you are able to own a sports team.
Oh, wait. See, he's married to a Walton. Cronky. He's
my
married
God.
to Ann Walton.
See, it's all these people all sit at the same table, right? Like,
is there anyone else in this country?
No.
Besides the Waltons.
You know, here. I was gonna save this for the conversation about like later on about the Padres, but I'll just read you that this intro to a Financial Times article that I was from a few years ago.
Perfect. You've just been waiting for your opportunity to use this Financial Times article. You've had it pinned up on the wall behind your computer. It's like, finally, I could use it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's Jose Feliciano.
Who, by the way, reportedly has bought the San Diego Padres for $3.9 billion.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yes, bought the team along with his wife, Kwanzaa Jones. He is a founding partner at Clear Lake Capital, the private equity firm that owns Chelsea, the football club.
Yeah. Only because the woke Premier League forced the Russian oligarch who owned Chelsea prior to this to sell his team.
Like,
and for what?
Let people have nice things.
He wasn't the one who was steering Putin to invade Ukraine. He just wanted to build a good football team. Don't look who funds different military arms in Russia. Don't look at that.
No, absolutely not. Well, that's something that we don't really give a shit about over here. So we'll take your petro money. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter. The Financial Times article from 2022 that basically explained what Clear Lake Capital was opens with this: when U.S. private equity group Carlyle was working to buy a debt manager, it was locked in a bidding war with an unheralded U.S.-based buyout group named Clear Lake Capital. Though Clear Lake flinched at the price, it left Carlyle to win the auction, but it led to a far bigger prize because during those negotiations, Clear Lake's two billionaire co-founders grew close to Todd Boehly, the founder of Eldridge Industries, which owned the debt manager in question, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
The Dodgers?
The Los Angeles Dodgers. So far we have Carlyle name checked.
So funny that the Dodgers were being stewarded by a debt manager that was in a whose ownership was being bid over by two of the biggest private equity firms in the world, who also now have Major League Baseball connections.
According to this article, after the deal went through, Feliciano and his partners set their sights on who else but the National Football League's Denver Broncos. So I only bring this up, Denver Broncos, whose ownership group has now just bought into the Rockies. So I only bring this up just to say there is an email chain of like owners and people who have indicated they are interested in owning, and these listings just go out to the same group, whether it's in their day jobs as investment bankers and private equity barons and whatnot, or their hobby horses. These guys are still eating steak dinners together at the end of the day. And I, for one, think that's awesome. I welcome our new capitalist overlords.
So, okay, this is an interesting angle to attack this from. I think that this sale, to me, like what the thing that I saw a lot of people talking about was the price, $3.9 billion, which is 1.5 billion more than the previous record held by Stephen A. Cohen, who purchased the New York Mets for $2.4 billion in 2020. 6 years apart, a new record for a team that I don't think most people consider to be in one of the major markets in San Diego.
I believe San Diego is the 30th largest media market in the country.
Is that good?
If we're checking the facts.
Is that good? Is 30 good? Is that high?
Well, you know what?
How does that compare to Oakland?
In some scenarios, you could say it actually doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's obviously worth discussing, but given that
we came very close to saying a banned topic right there, but we did not.
I don't remember which banned topic you're referring to. I need to write them out and put them next to where we record.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about? I'll bleep it. Oh, yeah. I forgot you banned that. It's not a big market. I think that's interesting. I think the sale price is obviously interesting, but I think everybody who listens to this show knows that sale prices are all kind of a sham. It's basically what you can force someone to pay for this incredibly scarce commodity that is an MLB team. They are incredibly valuable. These guys are printing money. 3 years ago, we were reading anonymous quotes from executives and people with ownership ties across the league saying, I don't know how the Padres can do this. They're going to go bankrupt. It's absurd what they're doing. They're making it seem like everyone can do this. And then they sell the team for $4 billion. It's like, that's how they can do it. They just made billions of dollars in profit. We know how this works here on Timmy Pitches. But I do think it is more interesting, the angle that you're coming at it from, which is the old boys club is now the new boys club. Mm-hmm. It used to be that you had to come from, a traditionally American industrialist perspective to buy one of these teams. You had to own an oil company. You had to come from a rich political dynasty. You had to be a shipping magnate. You had that was really kind of, you had to be Coca-Cola or something. Like, this is traditionally how we conceive of the vibe and class that MLB owners come from. And almost exclusively now, and it's not just MLB, which is kind of the alarming thing, almost exclusively now, they're private equity guys, because those are the only guys or groups of guys who have enough liquid capital to make the transaction, to make the previous class of old boys happy enough to sell the team because they're getting a big enough check to do it. So, like, we're kind of in a death spiral for professional sports as an asset class, as an industry, as a business class, because there's no way for a non-private equity person to acquire a baseball team now, just for the sake of wanting to do it. So we look through history and we look at some of the less onerous owners. Those guys are so far removed from being able to ever buy a team. There will never be another Bill Veeck. Like, the best we can hope for is Steve Cohen, which is significantly worse than Bill Veeck, because he could just decide that he doesn't want to do this anymore, or he could just decide that his casino is more of a priority. So that was kind of my big takeaway from this, which is like, it's all private equity all the way down from now on out.
Yeah, well, these are guys who, made their wealth based on the financialization of America over the last 20 to 30 years or whatever, and have correctly, I think, looked at professional sports as, especially as sort of traditional investment opportunities dwindle, like, this is an incredibly safe and lucrative and beneficial place for me to store my billions of dollars, right?
When you say traditional investment opportunities have dwindled, what do you mean by that? Like, we don't have an economy? Is that kind of what you're implying?
Well,
stocks aren't real?
Stocks are real. All of the above.
Stocks aren't real unless they're the Atlanta Braves stock, which is very real and doing fine.
Exactly.
They're always making money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this new class of ownership has recognized that, like, these are assets that are completely decoupled from anything like, quote unquote revenue or anything like that, right? They are investment assets in a quasi monopoly market that hold incredible cultural weight, and that there is no ongoing supply of, right? There are 30 major league teams, and at some point in the near future, there might be 2 more. And that's it. That's
kind of not anymore. I think Rob was like, I kind of like how it's going right now.
So relatable.
You guys just keep doing what you're doing, Nashville. You'll get there eventually.
But this is, I think, why I was so excited to talk about this deal, because on its face, a team like the Padres, right, in what historically has been considered by the league as being a media market beneficial to them, say.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And also a team that is saddled with like $300 million in debt, and one that has not won a World Series. So do you we
$300 million in debt is light work nowadays.
I guess so. But it I think more plainly than ever before sort of spells out that this idea of, franchise value is a combination of market size and your media,
Which, to be clear, in this case is
it's
not large.
is not large. I'm not sure what it is. Market size and your media rights package and like the star players that you have. We were like, if you got all three of those, you've got a booming franchise. And that's
Which the media rights part of this piece is really actually quite funny because their local cable deal tanked and it is currently being sold by Major League Baseball. And all of the reporting around that was that they lost a lot of money compared to what they had been forecasting for.
Mm-hmm. But the flip side of that, and I know that Feliciano and his bankers have this line item in their financial model or whatever, is that in about a year and a half, there is going to be a whole bunch more revenue that is flowing in from a centralized bank account that is being distributed equally to all 30 Major League Baseball teams. And
how do you think they handle that? Is it like
probably?
Are you a pro guy? Do you?
I do sometimes. Yeah.
All right.
It's.
Are we doing free advertising?
We are. Yeah, we are doing free advertising. Please bleep that brand out.
I'll bleep all of those brands. Are you a bleep guy? Do you bleep? Yeah, I bleep. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's going to be a line item that is much more manipulatable. Not a word. Whatever.
Manipulable?
It can be What's the word I'm looking for? You don't know either.
Manipulable.
It's a line item that they can manipulate in the next couple of years. But until then, it's a loss, which is actually good for, private equity groups who are raking in profit year over year. They have to find losses where they can get them in industries that, look, the thing about private equity getting into sports is that, yes, it's incredibly safe. It's a place to park a huge chunk of cash so that it doesn't all look like profit. It's a place where you can just lie about the accounting. It's maybe one of the original places where they learned how to lie about the accounting. It's Major League Baseball. And private equity is probably the only industry, to the extent that it is even a real industry, which it's not. It's probably the only type of business that truly stands to gain from every other part of owning a professional sports franchise. They have money in real estate. They own the blocks that the team's stadiums are built on. They have money in clothing and apparel companies. There's private equity sprinkled around all to the companies that create merchandise. They have money globalized in the supply chain that creates Major League Baseball, whether that's things like the baseball itself or, like I said, merchandise or building materials to make a new stadium when they inevitably want to build a new stadium in 3 years or whatever, like all these new owners do. There's no part of the process of owning an MLB team that a private equity person would look at and be like, well, that doesn't help my big private equity firm in one way or another.
No.
Aside from the fact that it also like you're talking about gives them this halo effect of making it seem like they're taking their profits immorally won through the financialization of our lives and putting it towards something at least it's not, well, thank God, we got a new ownership group and at least they'll spend.
Yeah.
I already saw that happening among Padres fans. We don't really care who it is as long as they invest back in the team. And that's a rounding error compared to what the margins that, they're working at as a private, that Jose Feliciano is working at as a private owner of a private equity company.
Yeah. I mean, point of order, just because I think that it is worth noting, right? I mentioned that Feliciano and his business partner, Bedad Eghbali, negotiated to have Clear Lake be the controlling owner of Chelsea Football Club. And there's no one-to-one comparison here. But it is interesting because they have followed that model, right? They are posting record losses, financial losses, although
for Chelsea?
Yeah. Which again, like that doesn't matter, but it is, they're sort of pushing at least over across the pond. They're pushing the model to its limits, right? Which is to say that the losses are not the point, the asset is the point. The asset is going to continue to appreciate in value. So it's fine. And it's mostly fine if you perform okay and don't force your fans to start like protesting your ownership, right? Which, in this case, as I understand it, is not the case, right? I don't know. You follow football, soccer,
Kind of, yeah. Chelsea's not doing so hot,
yeah,
but they haven't been for a while. Probably because they forced their Russian oligarch owner to sell.
Seriously, mm-hmm.
A pox upon their franchise by not allowing the petro billionaire from Russia to continue on the franchise. But well, okay. Yes and no. Teams, Major League Baseball, like baseball fans are just incredibly broken as a fan archetype. We're just kind of like, as long as you try, it doesn't even matter. I mean, we laud the Rays for what they're doing when that is like quite literally balancing a balance sheet, what they do as an organization. And because they do it in interesting ways with some smart people, and then they turn out decent teams from time to time, or good teams from time to time. We're like, they're cool. They're not the biggest offender. The bar is so far down that it's really easy for them to clear it now as the new owner of the Padres. And what being a private equity firm with this much in assets, like assets under management, does for you is that someone else will always pay for your debt servicing now.
Mm-hmm.
The owners of the Twins, they don't really get that benefit of the doubt because they don't have $100 billion in assets under management that are in theory could be put up as collateral for the Twins' ridiculous debt to be serviced year over year. But like, you know who would be happy to take their little 1% profit off of servicing the Padres' debt? JP Morgan, another bank, like the other wing of what is it? Clear Lake? Yeah. The other wing of Clear Lake, which is rolled off into its own LLC, will do it for you. They're all dealing to each other.
Exactly.
So the money, the number just straight up is fictional now in professional sports. God forbid we ever look at the CBA about what the rules are about debt servicing. It's just like, that is fantasy land. Yeah. We spent hours learning about what that was. We, meaning me. I spent hours learning about what debt servicing was and what the rules are in the CBA for nothing, just for the entire industry to be taken over by private equity.
Actually, it doesn't really matter that much to us anyway. That was never...
Private equity guys are like, let's keep writing another check to OpenAI. And you think that they're going to be worried about the Padres having $300 million in debt? The Padres sell things.
Yeah, right.
The Padres make money. If anything, maybe Clear Lake is buying the Padres to put pressure on these other companies that they're invested in to show them having a financial model where you make money works.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So all of that, on the one hand. On the other hand, he just gave $3,500 to Brad Lander. So, like, is he goated?
Jose Feliciano did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because, of course, obviously, the first thing I did when I learned about this was like, go up, let's see who he's been dishing out the cash to. And we got another shitlib owner.
That puts him in a cohort with the Polads, the aforementioned Polads, who are Dem donors. The learners.
Rubenstein.
Mm-hmm. Atanasio?
Technically, yes, yeah. I mean, all of these, it's like an asterisk, right?
Like you donated some to both, but yes. That might be it, actually. That might be the only Dem donors that we currently have.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them spread, like, Henry does both or whatever. Very few of them, like, very few of them only donate to the Democratic Party. There are plenty who only donate to Republicans, but...
Well, why would you only donate to the side that keeps losing? It's to make it like $2,500 in write-offs to Brad Lander doesn't matter to Jose Feliciano. This is not an electoral politics podcast.
Unless...
Okay, the off-ramp to this Padres conversation is us discussing the state of the bingo card.
Yes, please.
A couple weeks ago on the podcast, we did our season preview as we do by doing a bingo card of things that we think are likely to happen, are somewhat unlikely to happen, and everywhere in between to create the experience of following along throughout the year as these events do get ticked off, do get crossed off. I'm just going to go through the ones that we've hit since we did that. And by the way, on our bingo card, these are all in the same row. So technically, we're throwing a bingo perfect game so far.
Mm-hmm. That's right, we are.
ABS-related ejection happened the day that we posted the podcast.
Yep. Actually, technically, I think it happened about 6 hours after we finished recording the podcast.
Okay, so the day before we posted the podcast. Perfect. Bruce Meyer Prestige Profile, which I somehow missed, and my sources at the Major League Baseball Players Association made me aware that this Prestige Profile happened.
Yeah, Prestige Profile, what? Sports?
A little bit of a stretch.
Like we had Business Journal.
Yeah, not much of a prestige magazine, but you do have to pay to read it. So
right.
I don't know. It's not like we were hoping it would be like a glossy magazine such as Derek Thompson's The Atlantic.
We're penciling that one in, and if we get a stronger candidate, we'll swap it out
again.
And if not, then this one does count.
Okay, perfect. And now Padres get sold. All three of these were yours, by the way.
That's right. Because we needed some layups this year.
In order to hit bingo through the row that we are currently operating in, we need two of my favorite ones that I came up with this year. One, an MLB umpire getting caught on a hot mic saying that he hates himself or his life.
Right.
Because of ABS, most likely.
Yeah.
We also need a team to be forced to travel by train because of rocketing oil prices.
You know what I will say? I think I saw an alert this morning that Air Canada is like canceling some flights. Toronto Blue Jays. Do you think
what train's going to take them to where they need to go?
I like that this implies the existence of this. It implies that a baseball team would be like, no, that's too much money for us to spend on air travel, or like that they are buying tickets through Air Canada that have just doubled in price, and therefore it's no longer financially feasible for them. Which I'm here for. Baseball players are just like us.
All we need for this to hit is we need the Nationals to decide, which, by the way, it's not out of the question because the Learners, they're not exactly Clear Lake capital over here.
Mm-hmm.
We need the Nationals to decide flying to New York is too expensive.
Yeah.
The $1 million that they're going to charge us to fly to New York for this 3-game stretch is not worth not getting on the Acela. That's all we need.
I mean, you know what I would say?
I'm not expecting the Rockies to take the 7-day train to Arizona or whatever.
I mean, this would be the biggest PR win for train travel in America since we fucking laid the tracks. You know, we need more train taking representation. I'm curious if a Mets player traverses the East River from Queens to the Bronx, hops on the 7 line to go to a Subway Series game at Yankee Stadium.
Doesn't count. Because like
what if he does it because he was like, I was going to drive, but gas was too expensive.
See, now that I could get behind, actually, because the spirit of it was that that oil prices became too expensive to fly when they would have flown.
Right.
But you're right that it's kind of it's a long shot. So if a guy comes out in the press and says, just too expensive to fill my tank, I hopped on the 7 train.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in on that. We'll count that.
I want Nolan McLean to show up on, like, you know, Pix 11 or whatever as just a man on the street to be like, yeah, I was going to drive, but it's too damn expensive out here. So I took the train. Remember when Klay Thompson was like on the streets of New York, just like being interviewed about scaffolding? Yeah, he's like, man, it's everywhere. It's crazy.
What do you think he thinks about Zoran's initiative to get the scaffolding taken down faster? We got to go back to him for a follow-up quote.
I agree.
This is bad journalism. Did you see Clay, by the way? Now we're just fully talking about the NBA.
Yeah.
Did you see Clay was asked whether he intends to come back to the Mavericks next season when his contract expires? And he says, well, I signed here to play with Luka, and I don't think Luka's going to be here next season.
The man has my whole heart.
He's so
I would lay down on train tracks.
Yes.
That is being traversed by the Nationals for this man.
trying to imagine a world in which that would depict your love for Clay. Like that would, well, I don't know how that would land, really. Now I'm imagining you being tied down by like a cartoon villain on the Acela.
Creating a trolley problem for Klay Thompson specifically.
Okay. Good stuff.
Okay. That was a good place to end that. Yeah.
You don't want to get into the trolley problem?
We can. Do you have thoughts? For me, it's not a problem. I'm a passenger on the train. Like
I built the tracks.
Exactly.
Because I'm an industrialist. Okay. Which of these next four topics, four whole topics, would you like to move on to next? There's Get Off My Lawn Corner. There's the Win for America pack. There's the MLBPA continuing to clear house. And there's Kremley.
Well, I've been sitting here wondering where you're going to fall on this side of the Eric Hosmer debate. So I do think we kind of have to go to that next.
Eric Hosmer is on a mission against OPS. He keeps going on his podcast or whatever. I don't know if it's a podcast or if it's a YouTube show or if it's actually being broadcast on television or if he's just posting clips on social media. And I don't intend to find out. But he keeps going wherever he's going. And he keeps, let's go, Francisco Lindor single through the right side. Let's go. He keeps talking about how batting average is more important than OPS. And how the analytics people would have you believe that it doesn't matter if you get a hit. And that they'd rather you get a walk. That's the line he's going with. The analytics people would rather you walk than get a hit. And OPS proves this, Alex.
I like sort of, I don't know where to begin with it. First of all, this is like the third straight year he's come out in the spring and tried to make this argument.
Yep.
I appreciate the conviction.
Fool me once.
I do.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Fool me twice.
Can't get fooled again.
I suppose I would like to have Eric Hosmer on this podcast, and I will extend an open invitation to him right now. I am curious what his goal is with this. Like, is his goal for everyone to say, "You're right, Eric. OPS is meaningless, and this has hurt the game, and no one shall ever utter those three letters again"? Is it that he thinks kids at home watching the game are thinking too much about analytics? Is it that he thinks that batters are trying to improve their OPS now instead of their batting average, and you can somehow see that borne out on the field? Because I know me, I mean, whenever I throw on a baseball game, I'm like, fuck, that was an OPS. He was swinging for OPS right there.
I just want to, okay, before I even launch into what I think he's trying to do to answer your question, which is the right question, I think. Thank you for asking it.
Of course.
Like, what does he stand to gain is the right way of thinking about this. I just want to say, like, for the record, his argument, I don't think he knows what OPS is.
Yeah.
Which is concerning, frankly, because he was a professional baseball player for a long time. I would have hoped that somebody would have explained to him what OPS is. The argument, the crux of the argument being analytics guys want you to walk more than they want you to single. But if you single, it's actually better for your OPS is what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get what he's saying.
Right.
Because on base percentage, a single and a walk for on base percentage is the same. That's the same part. It counts the same. Those are the same. That's the same. In fact, a double and a walk, a triple and a walk, a home run and a walk are the same when it comes to on base percentage.
Yep.
So his gripe must be then, Alex, his gripe must be with slugging percentage, which I can understand why he had a gripe with it. He wasn't a very good slugging hitter. In fact, he was really bad. And the fact that he could not slug was the reason everybody was like, why did the Royals give him $100 million? Or and then have to dump that to the Padres? And then he vetoed the trade to the Red Sox. It was sort of the through line of his career was that he can't hit for power.
Yeah.
However, I'm somewhat of a lowercase analytics guy myself. You know, I'll look into slugging, something as crazy as slugging percentage. Take a little look into the formula here, Alex. Okay, let's see. How do we calculate this? The denominator in slugging percentage. Now this is at bats. I see that at bats. Are you familiar with
that's the number on the bottom, right? The
correct.
denominator?
That's the number on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, so if I walk, is it having any impact on my slugging percentage? If I walk, did I have an at bat, Mr. Hosmer? Did I have an at bat if I walked?
What was the denominator again?
At bats.
Well, because I mean that's the only way that you can determine whether or not someone stepped up to the plate or not, right? Like that's really the only metric. Walks must be included because there's no other metric that measures like the times you've appeared at the plate over the course of a game.
Correct. Yes, exactly. We outlawed that.
Yeah.
We outlawed that. That was in Bill James's first edition.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't appear unless you have an at bat. Strike it from the record. So his whole thing is like, we care too much about OPS now because we care too much about slugging, but also he wants you to hit a single, which does get counted in OPS, but walks don't. And he's against walks now. He's like, walks aren't as good as singles, but they would tell you should walk instead of singling, but they also love OPS too much. Yeah. It's just a logically inconsistent argument. But to the point of why he's having it, and maybe this is where we tie in the continuing storyline of guys who pitched in the 70s, 80s, and 90s being mad that the radar guns measure differently nowadays. The world's just passing them by. It's a different game every year. And I find that beautiful. It's different, yet the same in many ways. Yeah. There's a guy out there doing something, but it just takes on a different context now because they're doing it differently. And they've determined over the course of decades that this is the better way to do it. And here's why.
Yep. I mean, I'll paraphrase the Foolish Baseball tweet that I saw, which was like, if I was Eric Hosmer and I'd made $175 million posting a 107 OPS plus, I probably also wouldn't believe in analytics. You know, like it's fair. I understand it.
This has always been my problem, and this is why I have banned for multiple years the use of the phrase analytics without specifying what you mean.
Right. Yes, I know.
Because there are plenty of analytics that you could look into Eric Hosmer's career. There's things that you can dig into. There's things that he did well that made him worth what he was to the Royals organization, that made him a contributing member of a World Series winning team, that analytics can contextualize. Fucking OPS hitting for power is not one of them, but that's okay. That's okay. Nobody would have looked throughout all of baseball history. Nobody would have looked at Eric Hosmer and said, he's a power hitter. And that would have been okay.
Yeah.
Eric Hosmer, if we cloned you and we dropped 24-year-old you into MLB right now, you'd still get at bats and plate appearances. You'd get both. I just don't think he's making it seem like you can't have the career that Eric Hosmer had, which was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that is like why he's doing this, because he's like, we're losing the art of hitting. We're losing the art of like going the other way.
Brother, you never had it.
Well, no, I think he hit plenty of singles, whatever. There was a year that he batted like 300.
He was a fine hitter, but like
he was a fine hitter. Yeah. You could hit singles. Dude, I have to listen every offseason to a bunch of people being like, Luis Arraez should win MVP. Like, no, actually, he's not good. He's not a good player. He doesn't make your team better.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's fine. He doesn't make your team worse, but he's just fine.
Yeah.
We have like, there's hitters littered throughout history that were deeply, deeply underrated because we didn't look at things like OPS. And now that we are, that's making the people who were overrated at the time for hitting a ton of singles feel like a threatened class,
Mm-hmm.
of which Eric Hosmer is like boldly standing up in defense of. And I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't seem like a fun way to consume baseball.
As opposed to the way that we do it, which is out of pure enjoyment and love for every aspect of the game.
I mean, I love baseball. I don't know what to
I
tell
know,
you. I really do.
I do too.
When Jeff Passan was on this pod and he was like, you have to really love baseball to be a listener of this podcast. I was like, thanks for the backhanded compliment, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, new Passan pod just dropped too.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I've seen 2 clips from it.
I haven't seen any clips. There was an article that was going around, a Twitter article that was going around this past week about the clips economy and how everything is built around clips nowadays on the internet. And I read the first couple sentences and I was like, I don't think I need to read this.
Yeah.
I've lived this.
I guess this is his way of saying they, they don't let guys like me in the league anymore, right? Guys who just show up every day and play hard and play to win. You play with grit and tenacity, and you don't look at the stat sheet or the barrels or the blasts or the boops or the blips or whatever.
The Mets have given 1,000 plate appearances to Brett Beatty over the last 2 years. Like,
know,
they let guys like you in the league.
Yeah.
They let guys like you who hit hard ground balls in the league still. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
In fact, they're even putting him at first base this year, just like you were.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm really sorry to all Mets fans for whom I just compared our beloved Brett Beatty to Eric Hosmer. But
that was pretty tough.
He is sometimes smashing ground balls straight into the infield.
Oh, Eric. Like, I'm serious. We should come on and have it out.
No, I actually don't want to do that.
All right, fine.
Because I think he would try to do that thing where he would try to start like challenging us. Be like, what's the highest level of baseball that you played? Well, you can't have this conversation with us. And I'm just like, I'm not interested in that version of the conversation. Mark Vientos homer. Let's go. What's that one count for on the OPS, Eric? Okay. Listen, this MLBPA story, I don't know what I'm really supposed to think about it. Longtime Major Leaguer Chris Capuano will take over as Chief Operating Officer at the MLBPA after the firing of Xavier James. A source tells ESPN. Ian Penny, a senior advisor to Executive Director Bruce Meyer, will handle HR duties following the firing of Michael O'Neill, who was previously handling HR duties. It just seems like they are turning a new leaf. And anyone who is involved in the Tony Clark Michigas in one way or another is now not going to be involved in the next era of MLBPA.
Yeah. Yeah. Executive Director, COO, head of HR. We're chopping the head off the Hydra.
There was a lot of people who were like, what does this mean for bargaining? The answer is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an equally large, if not larger, group of people who were like, loved him with the Brewers.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. MLBPA had its own remember some guys moment.
Well, what I was going to say is I love that when stuff like this happens, it's an opportunity for, like team blogs to do the local news thing. Like I saw a Brewers blog that was like, former Brewers pitcher now in pivotal role in, MLBPA. And I'm like, that is technically accurate.
That's
Thank you, like Brew
accurate.
Crew or whatever, or whoever it was who was writing this.
Yeah.
For bringing in the local angle,
Did you see my joke about this? I was really proud of it.
Were you like, what is this, 2009 or something like that? Chris Capuano?
Close. It was punchier than that.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go check that one out in your free time.
All right, I will.
No, I said bringing in Chris Capuano for mop-up duty. What is this, the 2015 Yankees?
There you go, yeah. Got him.
He's here all week. Those jokes are free. I don't have anything more to add about this. Okay, two kind of incredible MLB business stories. The first is about a business that didn't exist. That business is called Kremly, which maybe was a little harsh, me saying that they didn't exist. They technically existed.
They did exist, yeah.
They had,
Is it Kremly or Creamily?
so when I looked it up, I was trying to figure out how to pronounce this. When I looked it up,
Cremily, right?
yes, but there's a soft accent over the E,
I didn't
and
catch
it's
that.
French froyo. So I have to imagine that they're going for a little bit of a French pronunciation.
Mhm.
Kremly.
Yeah.
Now you would know if this had been a real enough company to maybe run a commercial, have Instagram videos, have more than 2,000 followers on Instagram even. This is a French frozen yogurt company who had who had partnerships with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Los Angeles Angels. I'm reading now from an Athletic article written by Sam Blum and Cody Stavenhagen. I apologize, Cody, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Quote, the alleged cons deceived two MLB franchises, impacted dozens of employees, and left many financial partners picking up the pieces. Quote, I think there were bad intentions from the beginning, said one of Kremly's former employees. The Athletic reviewed dozens of court documents and spoke with more than 20 former Kremly employees and business partners. Many of those employees, including some of whom signed non-disclosure agreements, were granted anonymity to speak candidly about their experiences. Quote, we were naive, said another former employee, in thinking it was a real product.
I hate when that happens. When a brand says I would like to advertise my product with you and you say yes, and then 2 years later you found out that there is no product at all.
This is really kind of a wild story, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Like, all of the details of it are sort of absurd in the way that feels timeless, but also incredibly modern in how they executed it. But I am incredibly struck by how easy it is to make a fake company nowadays and to dupe Major League Baseball. Because we did a whole series a year ago called the 21st Century MLB Partnerships, the failed 21st Century MLB Partnerships, of which there were dozens, and yet it keeps happening. So you'd think that their guard would be up against something like this, and it's just not.
Right. Well, and especially when something like this happened very acutely a few years ago around the canned alcoholic beverages startup whose name I'm blanking on right now, but had also entered a deal with Major League Baseball, and then the product itself never materialized and the relationship fell apart. So
Incredible
not only
passive voice by you there.
Right,
the product never materialized.
So you would think something like this is maybe fresh in their minds, but I guess these were more team-specific deals, right? I know that it was the Diamondbacks and one other team, I think,
the Angels,
that got duped. Oh, the Angels, yeah. But the Diamondbacks, they jumped in that Kremly pool after they won the World Series.
Okay, but a question that I have, genuinely, and maybe this is something that would be worth an investigative episode of ours, is how easy is it to make contact to try to advertise with MLB? Is it just filling out a form online? Can I just say we sell something? We have a company where we sell baseball gloves, and we just go to MLB and we'll say, we'll give you this money. And as long as they were okay, you made one payment, we'll put your logo out in our field.
Yeah.
You and I have a PO box. We could probably dupe an MLB team. Should we do it?
I was thinking about that we should probably do it. As I was thinking about it more, I was sort of like it would be really easy to spoof some financial statements and just create a quick GoDaddy website for $12 or whatever. And then, I mean, I suppose it would be fraud. It would technically be doing crime, but Your Honor, sir, it was for content. It was I don't think you understand. You clearly don't know what tipping pitches is all about.
You guys didn't hear the part of the podcast where we said this is all parody. So any action that we take can't be legally held against us.
I do want to note, it's not even like this is a brand that it existed and then has maybe just gone quiet online or defunct. When you click the link to their website in their Instagram bio, it takes you to bcs-deals.com with a bunch of words in a language I genuinely cannot place. I do not know what this is off the top of my head. There's like a little picture of an anime drawing, and it looks like you can maybe pay money here to spin like slots. So this company does not exist anymore.
Okay, yes, but the company doesn't exist, but their products do. So like if you go, for example, I'm on instacart.com right now, and Cremely French vanilla frozen yogurt is an option, $3.19.
Do we buy some?
But like, so
keto
they do and don't exist at the same time. So they're selling products on Instacart. Is this just like, am I naive? Is this like how you launder money?
Or is there just product that that's filling the warehouses anyway, so you might as well just sell it?
To pay their debts because they owe MLB $50 million.
It is also worth noting that 20 years ago, the CEO of this company was sued for allegedly reselling $2 million in goods without paying the counterparty. So like, let's say if you were doing a due diligence process and you were like, we're about to end. Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
Yep.
So D-U-E. Diligence?
Diligence.
Spell that for me?
Yeah. And no, it's sorry, it's dude diligence. Right? So you're doing diligence on this dude.
Okay. Okay, I got that. I wrote that down.
I think if the context is we're about to enter into an agreement where you will pay me large sums of money, and in exchange, we will give your brand exposure through all of our avenues. I think the first question I might ask is, have you ever historically, right? Just curious. We're just checking a box here. Have you ever been involved in lawsuits where you promised to pay people millions of dollars,
such as you are doing with me right now,
and did not hold up that end of the bargain, such that we had the plaintiff had to take you to court? That's probably question number one.
It's a good place to start, but hey, I'm not a due diligence lawyer.
And then pled guilty to felony for concealment and bankruptcy. And then Madison Square Garden also sued him for unpaid sponsorship fees.
Interesting.
So this is sort of a scenario where he's like, if no one's going to keep checking the references, I think I can keep getting away with this.
You know how like when you go on and you hear people talking about like what you should put on your resume, like it doesn't matter if you actually did it. No one ever checks that stuff.
Yeah.
That guy was like, let me take that to let me do that to the max.
Yes. Yeah. Also, apparently no one knows who the CEO is. And like, even his name is a little unclear.
The Angels eventually wrote in a legal filing, quote, Cremely is a fake shell entity for its alter ego, Le Nid Consortium International, and the founder and principal of both, Kylie Schuyler. These teams are impossible to parody at this point.
I know.
They're impossible to parody. Let's say, for example, Alex, let's say you imagine yourself as a road runner, and imagine an MLB team as, just spitballing here, a coyote. And let's say you want to get away from the coyote because they're chasing you. You come upon a cave, a wall of some sorts, and on that cave you draw a picture. Don't spend too much time doing it. It doesn't need to look super realistic.
Right? They're not looking that closely.
Because they're so hot in your pursuit, they want you so bad. And what do you draw on that cave, Alex? You draw just a bag with a money symbol on it. Doesn't matter how they get it or why they get it. Just make them feel that there's money on this cave wall. And then now's the important part for you to really get away here.
Okay.
You're going to step to the side at the last second, right as they're just about to grab the money. And what do? They don't slow down. They see the money that you've left for them. Bam, smack into the cave. Bam. And that's when you're scot-free. You got that?
Okay, so if we were to create a brand that is like the most attractive brand to a Major League Baseball team.
Okay.
It has to involve some sort of like cryptocurrency blockchain element to it, right?
Right.
It seems food products are also very
of Froyo that you buy, you get 1/10 of a Bitcoin.
Yes. This is a fungible token, but you also receive a non-fungible token in accordance with each purchase of your pint of ice cream.
Nice use of in accordance.
Yeah. Is that it? Do we need to take it to another level? There needs to be some sort of market that you can trade the Froyo on.
Well, I don't want it to be Froyo, actually.
Well, that doesn't have to be Froyo. Yeah. Maybe like
kombucha,
popcorn. It's like a bespoke artisanal popcorn alternative.
Oh, now it's an alternative protein pop.
Oh, pop? I meant an alternative to the sort of generic popcorn that you get at ballparks. Although, again, this was like a.
Can it have protein in it?
It can have protein in it
and fiber.
There also has to be a philanthropic element to it, right? Because
correct. That's an important part of this.
As the bio says, 100% of the profits of Kremley are donated to ignite the power of girls globally, which makes me feel
100% of the profits are donated to ignite the power of girls
globally.
Well, true. We wouldn't want to just ignite the power of girls locally.
Ignite the power. It'd be actually funny if they were like, to ignite the power of French girls.
They don't need it. It's already a powerful group. French women, liberated.
All of their profits. That's why they couldn't pay the fees. They were too busy trying to ignite the power.
And look at big bad MLB cracking down, trying to take their share of the pie away from the global girls.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It's so cool. What is A2 milk? Are you familiar with this?
I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm happy to look it up right now. Wait, hold on. I have Bryce Harper on the line. He's going to explain to us what A2 milk is. It comes from cows that naturally produce only the A2 beta casein protein. So it is fucking protein. It's fucking protein Froyo.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we close out by talking about the Win for America pack?
Sure. Yeah. Let's end on a high note.
So you didn't even know what this was when I brought it up at first. Headline in Politico.com. It's never a good thing when we're having to read Politico headlines on the podcast. Meet the new power players raising massive money for the midterms. Campaign finance reports show how new industries are preparing to spend big on elections. A new class, this is by Jessica Piper in Politico, a new class of players is gearing up to spend big money in the midterms, cutting across partisan lines and disrupting both the primary and general election landscapes, and many of them didn't exist until recently. These groups have already become the biggest super PACs in the country in just a few years or even months. There's a pro-AI super PAC that launched in August. There's a crypto group now in its second cycle, which has raised even more, outpacing the traditional party players. And of course, there are other new players that keep emerging. Win for America, a super PAC backed by sports betting companies and founded in November, reported raising $41 million in the first quarter of the year, with that total coming entirely from 3 companies: DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fanatics. It's focused so far on state legislative races. Now, this is part of a bigger story in tracking the development of super PACs as they gear up to do what they do, buy elections here in this great country of ours. But is it good that they've amassed $41 million that they could selectively drop throughout state legislative races across this country. Alex, is that good? Is that like the type of thing that makes you feel like they have a product that is like good and worthwhile and winning on its own, for example?
Well, first of all, I will say I'm really excited that they're feeling empowered to get involved in their local elections, because this is where it happens. Is on the ground, exactly, knocking on doors.
Door.
Yeah, we need to take our country back. This is the way that we do it. One corporation, one voice, as I said earlier on this show. It also gives me a lot of confidence in their product. If you are needing to spend tens of millions of dollars to, say, convince the people who write the rules in this country
to write them
cool,
like to write them coolly.
Yes.
Cool rules.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like your little reward for writing them with like punchy prose.
Yeah, with some pizzazz.
Yeah.
You know, some pithiness. I mean, this was inevitable, and this is not even like the first time that that sports books are getting involved in political races, right? This is happening all over the country as we start exiting the first phase of sort of sports betting, which is like the kind of the easy money phase. They've DraftKings wept because they had no more states left to conquer, so they were like, fuck, we need to start lobbying senators at this point.
DraftKings wept. Powerfully done. Powerfully said.
And FanDuel shrugged.
So that was, just to be clear for the listeners at home, okay? We're crossing theological lines here. We have DraftKings wept, which is clearly a reference to none other than Jesus.
Right.
From Alex's Catholic upbringing. Canonically Catholic co-host of Tipping Pitches, Alex Paisley.
Yes. Yeah.
But then we have FanDuel shrugged, which now, is that a reference to traditionally Greek mythology, or only Ayn Rand, or both?
Just the big AR.
Okay. So the only
that's my
religion that you're supporting here is Catholicism.
And libertarianism, yes.
Right. Not a religion. Famously, not a religion. She was very specific about that.
Not in this household. I pray to Ron Paul every night.
No. Gary Johnson.
I know you're
is
more
my
of a
patron
Rand.
saint.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Gary Johnson.
Cool. This conversation has gone about where I thought it would go. What? Yeah, this is them entering the like, we're a mature industry era, and we now need to A, like, protect our margins, and B, expand our territory. Like, that is the two most important things for us right now, is in places like Illinois, where state legislators are raising per bet taxes. We need to do what we can to push back against that. And in places like Texas and Georgia, where sports betting is not yet legal, we need to capture those markets before, say, someone like Kalshi, who has skirted the regulatory scheme for this, gains a foothold and becomes the premier, like, sports book that isn't a sports book there.
Correct. And like, the strategy of these companies was always really interesting to me, in the sense that it was always incredibly state dependent. They knew that there was not really a reasonable circumstance in which the federal government was like, yes, you can operate federally, without states stepping in and being like, hang on now, where's our cut of this? Where's our piece in the taxation of these financial transactions and the regulation of them? But almost because of that, like, initial challenge that these companies went through in trying to lobby state legislatures, now they've gotten to the point where it feels like they are untouchable in a way that most industries in this country don't feel quite as untouchable or like non-targetable. Because if Illinois taxes betting differently than one other state, okay, yes, they're going to lobby against that. They're not going to like that. It could create copycat legislation throughout the country. But there's now pretty much like no way to get rid of these companies.
Right.
Like, aside from a larger battle between federal and states' rights and the legislation that governs them, that these companies are here forever.
Yeah.
And if you just happen to live in a state where such and such legislator is happy to take the campaign contribution from one of these super PACs, you have pretty much no way around it.
Also interesting to note that Fanatics is a part of this PAC, right? Fanatics, who sits at the center of Major League Baseball's merchandising business.
Yes. But who also has sports gambling in there.
Right. No, yes, exactly. They have the whole Fanatic sports book. So like the Venn diagram just keeps continuing to converge. We said this, in the context of ownership, where like all these people are sitting at the same table, but that's happening in this context as well. Like all these people, Major League Baseball is not like, we need to hear your hard-earned pitch, Michael Rubin, of why you should be able to place bets on Major League Baseball or whatever. There's a mutual understanding there. This is beneficial to all of the parties involved, and the biggest question among them is how do we split up the pie between us while continuing to grow the pie. Sorry, I know that's how Major League Baseball is talking about the CBA, but whatever.
Didn't we have a bit on the podcast not that long ago? We were talking about what pie do you imagine?
Probably. It sounds like a bit that we would do on this podcast.
Well, because I asked you what pie, and I think you said apple pie, and I said pizza pie, and you were like, that's ridiculous. You're lying.
Oh, this is coming back to me now.
I just would rather eat a pizza pie than an apple pie. I don't know.
By the way, I don't know what I was cooking back then, but you're right. It is a pizza pie. They are splitting. It is slices of pizza that they're splitting.
Also, the easiest pie to make bigger.
Yeah.
It's so hard to make a bigger apple pie. The center will cave in.
Yes.
That's just physics, bro.
Yeah. Also, where are you getting a pie pan
that's more than 9 inches? Exactly. Yeah, you're not.
It's been pretty standardized.
Win for America. Do you think it's a good name for this PAC? Do you feel as though like what they're doing is like winning for America?
Well, I don't know if what they're doing is winning for America, but every time I place a bet, whether I win or lose, I know that it was a win for America. And I think that that's what this is in reference to.
You take a knee and you put your
exactly
fist to your forehead and you bow your head and you say,
this parlay was for you.
This one's for you, Thomas Jefferson.
George Washington.
Hey, you did it. You said the P word. Isn't that banned? Or was that last year?
I think that was last year.
All right. Fuck. Trying to get another square on the bingo card. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Unless Alex wants to keep talking about winning for America. No, you're done? You're done winning?
I'm done.
For America?
No, but I'm starting to look up who does corporate sponsorships for the New York Mets. So hold tight on that.
That could be us. That could be us pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tipping Pitches podcast. If you like what you heard and you want to get more, head on over to patreon.com/tippingpitches, where you will also find the poll to vote for where we will hold the second Tipping Pitches meetup in 2026 at the end of August or beginning of September. Please vote for any and all games that you would be able to attend so that we can get a clear picture of what is the most sought after game to accommodate the most amount of people. Looking forward to seeing what the results are. That will close next month, so you got some time to do it. I'll continue to remind people between now and then. And then once it closes on May 17th, that is when we will make the final decision and we will reach out to the respective team that wins to buy a bunch of tickets. And I'll be explaining to you all how that process actually works. It's quite annoying because all the MLB teams are like, you can just buy a bunch of tickets. We can't give you an affiliate link. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Whatever.
Not until we start giving them that corporate money. Or at least that
we'll get
corporate LOI is really all we need to give them.
LOI? We'll get a suite, dude. They'll give us our whole box, our own whole box. Mm-hmm. You can, however, currently buy tickets via an affiliate link that is in the description right now to the Tipping Pitches 2026 meetup at the Brooklyn Cyclones game on Friday, June 12th. Pretty pumped about that. Pretty excited. Hope to see many of you there, and hope to see many of you next week here on the Tipping Pitches podcast feed as we discuss who knows what. You never really know. You never really know. We'll see you then.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alex Rodriguez. Tipping Pitches.
Tipping Pitches.
This is the one that I love the most.
Tipping Pitches.
So we'll see you next week. See ya!